Welcome to the Message of Hope television show. I'm your host, Christina Lockett. I have with me in the studio today CHANDALYN Williams. CHANDALYN is the founder of the CYNTHIA Solomon Holmes Foundation. It is a wonderful organization. She's here to share all about it. Welcome to the show, CHANDALYN.
Thank you for having me.
So tell us about the CYNTHIA Solomon Holmes Foundation.
Well, the CYNTHIA Solomon Holmes Foundation was founded in honor of my mom, Cynthia Solomon Holmes, who passed away from a rare type of sarcoma cancer called LEIOMYOSARCOMA. So we founded the organization in her honor to increase public awareness, to put in money for research, and to also be an advocate for patients and families who are battling the disease.
Well, one thing we do know is that this cancer is rare, but it's also misdiagnosed. So tell us about the process when your mom first was diagnosed.
Well, my mom started off with a cough, just a basic cough. You wouldn't think anything wrong with that, but she was proactive. She did go and see her doctor. She was misdiagnosed a couple of times with bronchitis, respiratory infections. So she was trying different medications, and it wasn't until her doctor, took the next step and said, let's do a chest x-ray. A chest x-ray revealed that she had a spot on her lung. He wanted to run a CT scan to look at it a little bit closer, and there was even more confirmation that there was a mass that was there, and that was followed by a lung biopsy, and so she was diagnosed a few months later with leiomyosarcoma.
Well, one thing I like to share is that your mother was a non-smoker.
Correct. Most people would think because she had a mass in her lung that would be an indication that she was a smoker, and she was not. She was not a smoker. She was not a drinker. And her cough began naturally during the flu season.
Yes.
But there wasn't any congestion. It was just a really dry cough that progressively got worse as she was being, going through misdiagnosis.
Yeah, and it moved really fast. Everything happened really fast. When was she diagnosed? From the moment she was diagnosed to the time she passed away?
Her symptoms started in October of 2009 after a series of treatments and misdiagnosis. She was finally diagnosed with leiomyosarcoma, or LMS, in April of 2010, and she passed away July of 2010.
So very rapidly moving type of cancer. But in the midst of it all, you took the hurt, took the pain, and decided to turn it into something positive and started the foundation in her honor. Mm-hmm. So what are some of the things that you do with the foundation?
Well, one of the things that we try to do is increase public awareness. That is the major component of our foundation, and our mission is to increase public awareness, let people know that this disease is out there. It is taking loved ones, people that we love and care about. I also urge people to invest in research opportunities, because there's not a lot of research out there for this disease. So we do a lot of fundraising for that, and we also try to be an advocate for patients and families, and just kind of wrapping our arms around them, being a listening ear, being kind of a rock for them, because it's an emotional roller coaster. Yes. In addition to that, we have several programs where we offer kind of that stability, that emotional support, and we also have a program where we offer financial support.
The grants. Tell us about the grants.
Through our We Care program, which is We Consider All Real Emotions, because again, it is a complete emotional roller coaster for any family or any person to go through this. And so through that, we offer a quarterly grant of up to $500, because expenses tend to pile up. When you're going through cancer treatments, bills pile up very quickly, and insurance just does not cover it all. So we try to do what we can to help those patients and families with meals or lodging or gas coming to treatment, prescription refills, anything that we can help them with. As long as they're in active treatment, we really try to reach out to them and be a resource for them.
Well, one thing I like to share is that you also have the support call. I've had the opportunity to be on the support call, and tell us a little bit about the support call.
Well, the support call is an opportunity to connect with people all over the country. And through that, we have Google Hangouts calls every month, or we just have a monthly support call. And we might focus on different things each month. Some months we might focus on what you're going through in treatment. Another month we might focus on caregivers, being support for them, because it gets to be pretty draining. And even though we don't get tired of it, we may just get tired in it. And so we try to be a resource for them in that aspect, and just reach out to them. Talk about anything that you're feeling. you know, because you go through a series of emotions. So good, bad, and the ugly, we talk about it all. We pray on every call. We lift everyone up in prayer.
Yes,
We lift
yes.
researchers, physicians, oncologists, surgeons. We lift everyone up in prayer because it is really a prayer walk, a prayer fight.
Well, you know, one thing I like about the foundation is that it has a spiritual foundation.
Mhm.
You know, just like you said on the prayer call, not on the prayer call, but the We Care call, you pray for, you know, the guests or whoever's on the call. I like that because it makes me think about the scripture that says bearing one another's burdens. You know, so kind of helping each other out in that situation that they're in and just having someone to lean on and having that support. So share with us the kickoff for July, because July is the awareness month.
It is. July 1st, we're kicking off the month. We have several education and community events lined up. We're going to be at Jason's Deli, which is in Kingwood, Texas. And we're going to start there, just like, again, getting out in the community, letting people know about the foundation, educating them on the disease, what causes it, how we can better treat it, how we can better support people who are actively trying to find a cure for it. So we're going to be at Jason's Deli on Friday, July 1st.
Okay.
And we're kicking off our month there. You can also follow us on social media. Our handlers on Facebook and Twitter are the CSHF. You can also visit our website at curelms.com, and we have several events throughout the month that we have going on there.
Yes, well, I definitely like to add that CHANDALYN Williams is also available to attend community events or foundations and organizations to help bring the awareness and let everyone know about the foundation, not only about the foundation, but the disease itself. So share with us your website address again.
We're at curelms.com. We're also on Facebook at the CSHF and Twitter at the CSHF.
Keep up the great work. Thank you so much for being our guest.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
I'm your host, Christina Lockett. We have with us today author and evangelist Rochelle Johnson Smith. She is the author of the book entitled Truth, The Rough Underlying Trials of Healing. Please welcome to the show, Evangelist Rochelle Johnson Smith. How you doing today?
I'm wonderful. Thank you for having me on.
You know what is so big and so bold? Truth. Tell us how you came about that title.
Well, I was wondering what should I title my story, being that I have encountered so much, and I like to say hell. I didn't know where to start with telling my story. I was working with some friends as I was pondering on some different titles, and they said truth. And when they gave me that, I said okay, and it took on a life of its own, because I'm ultimately talking about the things that I had to go through to get to my healing place.
So it's like truth, that ultimate truth, but it's also an acronym. The rough underlying trials of healing.
Yes. And the underlining are the things that I had to overcome and the residue that I had to move out the way to get to a healthy place.
A healthy place.
Yes.
It's our desire to be in that healthy place.
Yes, I like to tell everybody God wants us whole and healed. And He bind up the wounds so you can be in a place of happiness and true joy.
True joy. Joy comes from the Lord.
Yes.
Yeah, but before you can get to that place, you know, we go through things. We have trials. We have tribulations. We suffer some challenges. And I know your personal testimony, it started at an early age.
Yes.
Share with our audience a portion of your testimony.
Okay, like I said, a lot of hell. But what I'm uncovering in the book is how a lot of that was things that was already established in the womb before I even made it here. And it all had to happen for a reason. Part of my testimony is that I was molested by my biological father at the age of 11. And after coming out of that, and when I say coming out of that, being removed from his presence, I later was sexually assaulted by my son's dad after my son was born. And thirdly, I was assaulted by a client in the juvenile field, which I work in. And I tell a lot of people that you get attacked in the place that you're the most anointed. So when I say it had to happen, it's for me to be doing what I'm doing now, and that's to help deliver other people that has encountered sexual abuse.
Well, you know, sexual abuse is one of those areas where it's like a stronghold. It's hard for people to really move past it. It's hard for people to face that challenge and overcome, and a lot of people suffer with low self-esteem, some even commit suicide.
Yes.
You know, how did you overcome?
Well, I know that my Heavenly Father was with me the whole time. And even when I say, and I was in the wilderness, during that time, I didn't understand what it was that I was going through and why I had to experiment with the drugs. At one time, I battled with overcoming the stronghold of homosexuality. So that took a lot of prayer. And when I share my testimony about that small season of my life, is because it's like the hawk. It's like you're really in the battlefield trying to fight it. I know that that's not what God wanted, and I know that that's not what was his desire. He desired for me to be with a husband, to have a husband. But constant prayer. And I woke up one morning and I just decided that I didn't want to die in that place.
You know, as we stated before, sexual abuse can be such a stronghold because, like you said, you suffer with battling with drugs.
Mm-hmm.
Then, you know, having your own identity, your sexual identity
Yes.
with homosexuality. But it all rooted from what happened at an early age.
You're right.
You know?
And in my book, chapter 6, I discuss generational curses.
Yes.
And when I discuss generational curses, I went as far as doing my family tree. I didn't have much luck because my family wanted to keep the secrets under the rug. But I decided to really shake the family tree and see what was the fruit. And that's when I discovered that all of this was the sexual perversion ran so many generations back.
Jesus.
Yes.
You know, but that's when you find out the truth, whether they want to keep it secret or not. But we have to get to the root of it so we can begin to pray. Because even like yourself, you know that you started to walk that path to overcome. But you have a son.
Yes.
And you definitely don't want your son to repeat that cycle.
Yes.
So we have to begin to find out what's the root. Where did it come from? So we can learn to pray and pray in the Spirit of God because things can't change.
Yes. And I often, when I refer to myself, I call myself the trumpet blower.
All right.
Because my family continued to live in darkness. And I decided to walk in light. And my salvation is very important. And as you stated, my son, that was my reason for really seeking the Lord and finding out what it is that I'm supposed to be doing. Mm-hmm. And here I am now ministering the word.
Yes. Look at you.
Yes.
Beautiful. You know, someone would probably see you walking out on the street or maybe at the grocery store. They would have no idea the things that you went through.
Right. I'm really a true testament. I don't look like what I've been through.
Yes, yes. Well, you know what? I thank God that you're able to share your truth,
Yes.
you know, and able to write it in this book and to share with others. Because somebody may have that testimony and someone may be watching right now and don't know how they can overcome. But there's power in God.
Yes. And when I first started sharing my testimony, I had to deal with those possible insults to injury. Okay, well, no, she didn't tell that part. Or, no, we didn't know about that part. That part is not true. And my message to everyone on that, even in the family or anybody else that I discuss in the book, if you can point out a lie that I told in my book, then we'll discuss the truth.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now that you've written the book, and you are now, promoting the book, talking with people, sharing with everyone, how are you able to really reach out to others?
Well, I do a variety of things. I'm a part of a lot of organizations. One of the organizations that I'm the Houston chapter president of is Survivors for Voices. Then I do a lot of advocacy within the community, and I have been doing that even before I realized my truth. It was just always my passion to help somebody else. Now, the difference from then and now is I was helping others to not deal with mines, but now I'm able to help others and help them get to a place that I'm at. Mm-hmm. And I know that everybody's journey is not the same, and I'm very careful with that, and that's why I have a card. And in my book is also, I like to say it's a workbook with the book.
Okay.
Because a lot of times when people read book and they do the workbook, you're thinking about the story that you just read. Mm-hmm. But I have some questions for self-reflection.
Self-reflection. Because once you begin to read the book, you want to take a self-evaluation.
Correct.
Because God doesn't want us to stay in the same place. Exactly. He wants us to continue to move forward, reach higher, and go from glory to glory.
Yes.
I'm so proud of you for sharing your testimony and being bold enough to share it.
Yeah.
No shame.
Yeah, you have to have the courage to do it.
It takes courage, I would like for you to share with someone who may be watching right now just a positive message.
Well, you said what I normally like to say, and that's from glory to glory. But one of my biggest messages, don't break before the breakthrough comes. you never know when that moment's going to come and God will come and save you, because he came and got me out of the wilderness. And here I am, whole and healed. And it's a progress. It's progress, and it's a process every day, but just stay the course.
Thank you so much, Evangelist Rochelle Johnson-Smith, for being our guest on A Message of Hope. For more information, how can our audience contact you?
There's multiple ways that you can contact me. I'm on most of the social media platforms. You can find me on Facebook at Rochelle Johnson-Smith, Instagram, Miss Rochelle #1, my website, rjstruthgems.org, and Twitter at Miss Rochelle #1.
Thank you so much, Evangelist, for being our guest today. I just believe by faith that someone was blessed by your story and your testimony. Thank you
for
so
having
much.
me.
And thank you for watching A Message of Hope. Follow us on Facebook and on Twitter. Our Twitter handle is A Message of Hope 3. I'm your host, Christina Lockett.